Hello, my bead friends. I'm Sam of Sam's Bead Shop, and I'm so excited to be teaching the last class of Merrymakers. This is class number 10, if you can believe that. Making beautiful jewelry and beaded items that would make lovely gifts. This is our gift-making series called Merrymakers. It has been such a joy, so I hope you've been able to catch some of the classes. If you have no idea what I'm talking about or haven't seen all the classes yet, head to the Sam's Bead Shop YouTube channel, and on the videos tab and on the live tab. Between those two tabs, you can find all of the 10 classes of Merrymakers. Also below this video, you can go to the Merrymakers page where we have all of the links to the classes, all 10 links, as well as the collections for each class. Because obviously every class featured lots of different beads in the shop. And if you want to shop for those beads, many of them we still have available. Those collections are super helpful. For today's class, we are making with Helix beads, one of our new gems in the shop, which I think is very exciting. So I'll give folks a moment to dribble on in here, and then we'll get going. Hi, Patty, Jan, Lori, Dale, Wendy, Stephanie, all the friends are in the house. If you would give this video a thumbs up. If you're on mobile, sometimes you have to click out of the chat mode and click the thumbs up. Be so appreciative. Make sure you're subscribed to Sam's Bead Shop on YouTube. That helps us out. And let's make some beautiful jewelry today. Hi, Cindy. Hi, Katney. Hi, Michelle. All the bead friends. All right, let me show you what's in front of me today. We've got Helix beads. Oh my gosh. Oh. Okay, they're really nice, aren't they? Okay, just like somehow just see them all catch the light. We've got crystal quartz, Botswana agate, citrine, tiger eye. This is a new size. I'm working on getting more of these 6 and 8 millimeter size ones in. This is our last turn of the amethyst ones. This is golden obsidian, Kambaba jasper, hematoid quartz, also known as blood quartz. Oh, okay, we just got to pick up one of those strands to see how gorgeous. I find really unique cuts like this very inspiring for creating because the bead has so much presence on its own. And so I really want to lean into that natural beauty of this cut. This is like gorgeous citrine. And I was inspired by the cut itself when starting to design with this. So obviously this is a helix, it's a twist. So it's like twist, coil, wire. Okay, I want to do wire. That is the direction the helixes spun me on. And so I got out my coin. Oh my God, I forget the name of this every time. I always want to call it the coiling gizmo, but that's a different item. Blinking. It's like the third time in 2 days where I've like tried to say this to myself. It's going to come to me. No, it's most, actually, oh, here we go. It's the Conetastic. I have the page open here. This is the Beadalon Conetastic. Such a cool tool with lots of different tips you can put on. So it comes with a few different tips, and then we also sell some of the other add-ons for making different, you can buy these different bead cap tips. It's a really cool product, but I'm going to be sticking with one of them today. Here's some of the ones I believe it comes with, making different size cones. So we're going to be using that smaller one of the Conetastic. Thank you, Shira. Literally, this is so funny. I always want to call it the coiling gizmo. It's a totally different item, which makes great coils. This one you can also coil with, but it's meant for making shapely coils. So I like to get all my small supplies tucked away. It even has this little wrench for tightening in your selection. So we're going to be using this small cone. If yours is not in yet, you will need to loosen it with your little Allen key. Comes right out. And then super easy to tighten back in. A super smart product. I love that it becomes so many different products. I think that is so unusual. Or I mean, it's unusual, but I love that it can become multiple things. So here is the direction I am heading with this lovely Conetastic. Started as earrings, and I'm starting to do a couple more of these before class. And I was like, oh, wait, that would be really fun strung up. So we're just gonna be making a bunch of cones today and deciding how we wanna use them. You can see how each one is a little bit different depending on how I make it. There's kind of no wrong way to do this one. This one over here used fewer coils, and I stretched it out a little bit more, which kind of accentuates some of the helix feeling of it, versus these ones have more coils. I kind of left most of them tighter together. So we're starting by just making one more so of this style. I found them a little bit simpler to make. So we're going to start with 18 inches. I'm using a 22 gauge. Nope, that's a lie. 20 gauge copper wire. You could use, this is just bare copper wire. You could use some of the German style wire we have in the shop. Lots of ways to do it. So I always like to start by warming up my wire. It helps kind of straighten it out in case there are little kinks in it. It also starts the work hardening process as well, which will help it keep its shape, which is particularly helpful in a case like this because we want these final Conetastic cones to hold their shape nicely. And I found the 20 gauge worked well for this. So let's grab our Conetastic. To start, you see this little opening right here, right on here. We're just going to slip that wire through and bend. And now it actually is fairly secure. Obviously, you can secure it more if you want, but I have found that to be plenty because as I start to turn, it doesn't move on me. So you just need to get yourself up to the starting position of the cone and begin there. And this is where the Merry of Merrymakers kicks in because we just get to spin. So we are paying attention, but we're having fun while we spin. I'm putting a nice amount of pressure with my thumb here as I spin my 20 gauge wire on the Conetastic. Trying to keep those coils nice and tight. And don't worry about those loose wires lower down. We will get rid of those. Hello, Heather. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Shira upstairs. All right, so I'm turning with my dominant hand here, but do what feels most comfortable to you. And then if you're feeling good, you can start slowly picking up the pace because we're gonna go all the way to the top of this cone. We are climbing cone mountains today. We are almost there for the first one. They come together so fast. Like you could make a bunch of these in a matter of like maybe a couple minutes each. So it should look something like this. We need to free the cone. And so we're gonna just snip anywhere below where the final cone is. And it comes right off. Even the extra wire even fell off this time itself. And we are mostly done. Next, I am going to add my top loop. So to do that, I'm just going to pull up my wire just to kind of shimmy, just making small movements with my round nose here, just to pull up the wire just a little bit so I can start making my loop with the hope that it'll be fairly centered on top of my cone. So I'm going to start my loop. I'm actually going to bring it. I'm just going to use the plier itself to bring the wire over this way. So just to make sure that loops, just get it a little bit more centered. It's not going to feel exactly like your typical loop just because it's starting from one end and we don't want it to be on one end as the final result. All right, but still like you normally do, adjust those pliers upwards and bring them back around. I am intentionally bringing it to the back side, essentially the side of the cone that has more space available because it'll make it easier to tuck in the end. So it still might look a little funky. It's okay. It's okay. Don't fret. We're going to come in with the flush side of our cutters and cut. And just our goal is just to get that tucked in so it looks half decent. Shouldn't be too noticeable. I'm just gonna kind of tighten in the whole loop a little bit more. And look, it's fairly loop-like. No, it's not as good as the other ones I did, but I'm on camera and some loops look like that, and that's okay. My wire mantra is that I need to be having fun with my wire. There's not one perfect way to work with wire. Sometimes you got to show wire who's boss a little bit, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So we do need to finish off down here. So ensure that this cut of wire is the flush side, the flat one. So just in case, you can always come in here and cut off a little extra. And I'm gonna use my round nose to finish off down here as well. So I'm gonna get pretty close to the end of that wire. I'm gonna be twisting inwards towards the coil. So it's actually ends up closing the coil a little bit. I thought this felt like a little bit safer to me so that things wouldn't get caught on it. I don't like to have stray wire ends when I don't have to. So I'm going to hold pretty low down on the coil as I, little bit by bit, twist it in. Even if your coil goes a little off center, you can always very gently coax it back over. And you see how it's a pretty closed cone right now. And I liked the look of them where they just had been opened up at least a bit. So I had actually more success kind of coming in and just poking in bit by bit. You'd be surprised how quickly it feels like it opens up. And then I'll also mix in a little bit of pulling. Make sure not just to pull from the either end. I found that would often just open up a certain section versus the entire thing. So if I'm going to work on this upper section, I'm going to hold the end in the middle to work on opening the upper section. Turn and work on the middle section. I end up liking the look of having more openness lower down. So I'm going to pull a little bit extra, you see, lower down. There is no wrong way to do this. Just have fun with your Conetastic. We carry these Conetastics in the shop, and there are so many possibilities of how you can use them. And look, we just made a little component. So let's string that one on and see how it's looking. To pair with these coils, I like the twist to these cones. It's both twisted in how it's made, but also the cone shape makes it go outwards. I'm using the kambaba here. So I like that those twists are all kind of thematic throughout this piece. I'm kind of in the mood to experiment a little bit because it doesn't say all the cones don't necessarily have to match. We could see how one of the thicker ones look. Just see the difference. Maybe we just start with going one step. And this is a little experiment all together. This is kind of how all my design usually goes, is start making one thing, and then you have what feels like the best idea, and you have to go immediately do that. And you just keep shifting as you create, and then you end up with some beautiful creations. All right, so what I just did there was loosened and took out the smaller cone to put the new one in. And I'm gonna grab a new section of a new 18-inch length of wire that I'm gonna do my SAM warming on. Wire's always kind of been my bread and butter. I've just love how malleable it is and how many options it is. I wish I was like a pro wire wrapper. Folks see those like crazy wrapped cabochons that are so intricate. I don't think I have the patience for those types of wire projects, even though I wish I could. I'm like, maybe one day. But I love that wire you can so quickly make a quick project. I think this is a nice example. You could make, I could say 5 of these components, string them with the Helix beads, and you have a beautiful necklace. Make 2 of the components, and this is just some wire loops. I connected for an earring. It does not have to be super complex to make something gorgeous. All right, so we're gonna start in here. See how just by bending, I just did that initial bend right there. It feels very secure. So I'm gonna make my cone. Folks, let's see how the bigger cone looks in this piece. I have no idea, but I can't imagine it'll be bad. It'll just be different. Probably use a little bit more wire, but we had a little bit extra last time we made one of these. Whoa, I'm so curious now. It might actually have a more accentuated opening, because I feel like with these, you don't, it's a little bit more subtle that it graduates outwards. It gets larger as the piece descends, as you go lower on the piece. So maybe we'll notice a little bit more on this one. All right, almost to the end of our cone. Who has one of these Conetastic's? We've had these in the shop for a while now because I've kind of been obsessed. Let's free the cone. Oh, it's free. It's so cute. It's like a little bead hat. That is another way people use these, is you can use them as a bead cap. String them on. Whoa. String them on. We might have to come back to that idea. Interesting, interesting. You see, this is my case in point. I see something I want to do, and it probably is where I will pivot to next. But I want to see if it will look good as like a bigger center coil, potentially. So let's get our loop made. Maybe this one will come out a little bit nicer. I'm going to start by just bending this one over. And now I'm going to wrap around and see if I get a little bit more success. Didn't have any trouble with the first couple, but I wasn't really thinking about it. This one is indeed worse, but I think it is still going to be pretty workable, especially I don't think you're going to notice too much with the loop. Okay, this one's pretty funny. I think once I close it a bit, you won't notice quite how wild it is. It's pretty funny. From the wrong angle, as you can kind of see, it's not your conventional loop. But as long as I have it with no opening, I am fine with it. And sometimes I'll always come in with my round nose if I can make things just a little bit better. Yeah, even just bring that in a bit more definitely help there. See, like that's a lot more acceptable. If I want to center it, let's come out with my flat nose. Let's gently move it over. I'm deeming that workable. Let's take a look at the lower side. Make sure our end here is flush. And come with our round nose. Again, we're using a 20 gauge wire. That's basically all I'm using all of class today. And I'm just going to twist and continue to twist and see if I like how it's looking. Well, that's actually kind of cool. All right, it pushed in on itself a little bit, but that's not a big deal. I can always pull it out. All right, let's stretch it out just a bit and see what we think. One way I did find, if you wanted to have a little bit more randomness in it, is to do more of those openings manually. Like put your finger in and kind of scrunched open a little bit more and different ooh, like that. That is definitely how it will have some variety, which actually is kind of fun. Like it makes it not too perfect of a coil. Has a little bit more of a handmade, whimsical feel to it. All right, I want to come down here and just fix up a little bit what happened earlier. We'll see how we like the look of this wider one. What do you guys think so far? Still trying to tell exactly what I did here. One of the wires just kind of got under the other. Okay, that's a little better. Sometimes once you like make an adjustment, it's hard to quite get it back how you want. It'll just kind of keep changing it to something new. All right, there we go. It's a little bit better. I'm liking the look, especially if this is going to be a necklace of this wider type coil. I think it would be quite gorgeous. What's interesting, it doesn't look too different from the more narrow ones. So I'm going to give you a closer look there. It's a very subtle difference. Huh. Let me string it up. We can see what we think. And if they work together or not. I'm hoping they do. Yeah, it could work as the center one. Just kind of subtly a little bit bigger in the center one, and I could do 3 more on the other side of it. It's kind of nice. So that's the main component we're working with. I wanted to show that you could really take even one technique and turn it into multiple things. So you could decide if you want a more open one for an earring or kind of like one of these. They would both be beautiful earrings. What direction should we go? There's so many options here. All right, I'm gonna grab another piece of wire. I did also like the idea of using one of the cones on this stringy wire itself, which just means we have to make more cones, which is lovely. Let's see, Dale says, I leave the tail long and thread it up through the inside of the coil and make the top loop with the bottom tail. That helps the coil from stretching out. That is a lovely tip. And especially, yeah, actually I think that's a great idea. Should we try out Dale's method? Can't hurt, we're just making components today. I love feeling out different ways to do it. All right, got my wire a little warmed up. I'm gonna stick with this larger one. I actually think even that larger one would make a gorgeous earring. So let's start it. So Dale said we need a longer tail here. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. The tricky part is that this tail would actually start, we need the wire here. That's interesting. If I start my coil here, Dale, and I keep going up, I'm not gonna have much tail easily. Unless you're just starting the wrap without, oh, I think I might kind of see it. I think I need I want some extra wire just to be safe here. I'm gonna cut an extra long piece. I think I have a vision how this might come together. It's just kind of when I'm leaving the extra tail. So if I leave some tail here, actually I'm still lost again there, but let's try wrapping it up. I'm curious how you're securing it. Are you still just more subtly using, maybe just more subtly using the anchor point? Okay, let's give it a shot. If I'm like totally like having like a moment here where I like should be seeing how this works, I'm gonna laugh. You do the way you don't pull the wire into the tool. If you do it that way, don't put the wire into the tool, just fold it. So to start, you're not putting it into the tool. How do you get do you start the cone from the top end? Is that possible? I love that anchor point just because it gets it held on so strong. Can you guys hear the wire every time it hits the phone? Oop, I stopped looking at what I was doing for a second. I was too nervous to start it without putting it in the tool, Dale. I think you're going to teach me something today. Isn't wire the best? There's just like endless ways to play around with it. All right. The only thing is I can't, I can't clip it because I need to be a little bit more careful here. This is why Dale was like, don't put it in the tool. I also don't want to mar my wire too much. This is why Dale was like, don't put it in the tool. Because you also were making your top loop with the lower wire. Okay. Just bent it. All right. And now I'm so curious. So let's get that lower wire. I'm going to bend it towards the center. This is actually very impressive because you are then maneuvering your wire fully to the top. This is some next level Conetastic, Dale. And this is where I'm like, let's pray. Oh. If this also might not be quite how Dale was describing. But this is about how I imagined it was going to go for me. Okay, this is hysterical. I made a wizard's hat. I kind of need to hold on from where that wire's bending in from a little bit more. This is so funny. Huh, interesting. Because then this is my work. Now this is one right here is the working thread from inside. Yeah, just kind of like making not a happen, but like the pressure's on because the whole thing's so much larger. It did kind of work. Just a little bit trickier. I'm sure there are simpler methods here for you doing it Dale's way, like doing it how Dale does. Let's go ahead and cut this one. So this thread that's left is the one from inside. I could see that it would make it a little bit easier to also make my wrapping here. I could even make it more into a wrap loop, which is fun. Keep some tension. So I'm so curious how you do it, because on my first attempt here, it was a little tricky for me. That's the general idea. I just think it kind of looks like a wizard's hat to me. It does. I do like the whole overall thing actually has a lot more integrity to it, just because of that wire running inside. That is quite satisfying. Because it didn't leave much room, I can't stretch it out much. So there's one thing to note there. All right. I'm going to go back to the original method for the next one. Because I'm curious if we can get most of a necklace put together here. It did work. Just didn't quite come as naturally. So I'm going to start the way I was doing it initially here. And again, I'm using that medium-size cone that the Conetastic comes with. If you guys don't want to hear that, I can take these out. These are all the doodads. I find it actually a little easier to turn the Conetastic when I have the bottom piece on there. Oh, and Dale also will put a bead on before the loop. That is very clever. So is this a tool you use a lot, Dale? So like when I first got it, I was like using it obsessively, making bead caps and various cone things to string on or do whatever. Alrighty, we got our cone. Free our cone. And work on our next wire wrap loop. All right, that one's a little bit better. Thought about it. I did it more kind of how I typically would do a wire wrap loop, and actually did end up working a little bit cleaner. Just making sure that end isn't going to be a problem. I just open up the loop a little bit. That should be fine. Get back on camera for you. All right, I will take that. And then from the bottom, I'm going to coil this in as well. Let me zoom in for you guys a little bit here. All right, I've got a lovely comb, but let's give it some length here. A little bits at a time. Let's get that cone lengthened out. Can I use your nails a little bit as well? This is so fun. It's like making little springs. All right, let's add a little bit more length. I feel like this one, we gotta at least have some sort of completed project. So I think I'm heading towards some earrings here because I am loving how these are looking now. Ooh, it's so interesting to see just also how they have evolved since I first started making them. All right, that one's feeling ready. Let's do one more. And I think we'll have a pair of earrings with the Kambaba Jasper. I grabbed the Kambaba and the Tiger Eye here. But there's lots of different options in the shop to check out. Definitely check out that link below. All right, cutting another 18 inches or so of wire. And I'll warm that up a little bit. Anyone else feeling a little inspired to get their wire out today? Even if you don't have the Conetastic, you still have lots of possibilities. I was playing with other ways to feature the helixes as well. And this one is making some spiral head pins and then put on some Kambaba and Tiger Eye and did a helix kind of a different way with the wrapping. So there's lots of ways to use the helix. All right, this might be maybe our last cone of the day. Make some earrings. And we're off. The twisting has begun. May the best wire win. Shara, do you have a Conetastic? Do you need to borrow the shop Conetastic? I feel like you would have a lot of fun with this one. Shara's like 10 feet above me right now. If she stamps really hard, we might be able to hear her. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you guys hear it? Ooh. Ooh. Shara's listing beads and stomping. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Oh, that's funny. Rachel Mouse in the comments says there's very little of the humatoid quartz left. So that means someone already took the strand, or at least it's in someone's cart. Oh, so gorgeous. Shara's favorite's the crystal quartz, so y'all better scoop it up before she scoops up the rest. She likes the crystal quartz more than the amethyst ones, if you can believe it. All right, free the cone. Isn't that a fun little tool? And this is just making one shape. You can also make little bead caps and things with it as well. Very clever. got to meet the inventor of the Conetastic in at Beadfest a couple years back. I think I might have her name here. Yeah, Sandra Lupo. Let's finish this cone. Coming back in with my round nose pliers. We're going to do our swirlies. I really love the look here at the bottom with that wire swirled. Ideally, we can get that wire to touch another wire so it really feels closed. All right, cool. And this time we are going to try to match the length because we want to make these into some earrings. So I'm just gently coaxing it, using a little bit of fingernail to open up the wires as well. Just a little bit more. You'd be amazed how quickly it starts to open up. Let's see here. Pretty darn close. Let's go ahead and make the wire wrap loop and then we can compare. All right, this time I'm just making it more as I usually do. Wrapping my wire over, moving my pliers, and bringing it around, and then kind of breaking the neck, as Neely would say, to center it. See how that works so much better. Follow how you do it, how you do it. It'll end up very nice. I do need to get in there though to be able to do a cleaner cut. So I'm going to open it up kind of like a jump ring. And then close that like a jump ring, and hopefully, aha, we're getting better at the loops with this thing. Look at that. All right, let's compare. Just needs a little bit more length. All right, it's like Princess Bride. We just gotta stretch a little bit more. Is that too dark? That's funny. Okay, those are adorable. I actually kind of like that they don't match perfectly. Let's prep. I'm gonna do a tiger eye for this one. So let's pick out a couple nice tiger eyes. Oh, they're so gorgeous. Oh my goodness. A couple nice bright ones. There we go. And I think the 20 gauge will work great here. So you can even use your scrap wire for this. Just make sure it's straightened out a little bit. You can also use your nylon jaw pliers to do something like that. And we're gonna make some loops. I've been back on the simple loop train, especially using something like 20 gauge. One loop. Lovely tiger eye helix. Look at that twist. And then I'm gonna fold it away from my loop to have perpendicular loops. And go ahead and finish that one off. And we just need one more. We've got earrings, and no, I will not be putting ear wires onto these earrings because I don't have any nearby. Alrighty, let's make one more loop. I don't know why I've gotten back. I used to be like, would only do wire wrap loops. And definitely for a thinner gauge wire, but with 20 gauge, it's just like the opportunity is there to make simple loops. It also makes it easier to put these sorts of projects together because I'm just going to loop right on to my component, our Conetastic cone. And then I'll have a lovely quick project using the Conetastic. And if you want to take it to the next level, Make a whole bunch of cones and turn into a necklace. Isn't that fun? And here's how the bottoms of them look. I think they're super fun. And I love that we're able to pull out that twist feeling from the helix beads. So let's take a look here. We did our 3 narrow cones, a larger one. So if we wanted to mirror that, we would need 3 more narrow cones. I've got about 5-ish more minutes here. So y'all want to time me? It's 4:41 here. So I want to put a 5-minute timer on. I'm kind of curious. I don't know if I can. I don't know exactly how long they take, but that was like only a couple minutes each. I kind of want to make my 3 more cones. Otherwise, when am I going to make them? I got to go prep tomorrow's live sale. I haven't even cut my wire yet. All right, Shira's starting the timer. Pressure's on. All right, wire 1. Let's just cut all 3. Believe in ourselves that we can do all 3. Number 2. Number 3. Quick warm of that wire. I do like the name of the tool, despite not being able to ever remember. Like, ask me tomorrow, I'll be like, the wire, twist, gizmo. Nope, Conetastic. All right. And begin. Although I know Shire already started the timer. I can feel it. Twist, twist, twist. Shire's having too much fun upstairs. But does she want, what is she, does she think I can do it? I don't know. All right, back on camera. Do I think I can do it? That's the real question. Kind of depends how long I take on the first one. I don't know. Oh, okay, to the top. Free the cone. Maybe we could save time by doing this in batches. Like, don't kind of, they always say it tends to be a little faster to do the same step multiple times. So we'll do this step again. Come on, wire, don't time for that. There we go. Spin, spin, spin. We might have 3 unfinished cones. How much time do I have left? Can I do it, Shira? This is the grand finale. Can Sam? It is the name of the class. How quickly can you make your gem jewelry? I can't take forever here. Woo! My hands are gonna be tired here. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, got another cone. Voila. Number 3. We got this. Shira's giving me no time updates, so maybe I still have 5 minutes left. Oh, she said 3 minutes left. Of course, now the guide wire, the anchor wire is not coming out. There we go. Number 3, third and final. Whew, my hand. Hello, Emmy. Hello to everyone watching. We are having fun with the Conetastic and our Helix cut beads. We're in the grand finale here as Sam attempts to finish an entire necklace of these coils. Just at the moment I remember that I kind of wanted to have coils to cap the coils, but we'll get there. Woo! Twist, twist, twist. Oh my goodness, my hands. Maybe take a break between the twists. Okay, there we are. Come in and make our loop. Come on, come on. Yep. And finish the bottom. We also have to stretch them out. Yeah, we're not going to do it. I could probably do everything except stretching it. Also, I need to not go too fast because I'm going to do silly things. and then have to now fix it. You might not notice it once we stretch it. How much do we stretch those? Okay, mostly at the bottom. Whoa, too much stretch. Okay. Shar says, should I tell him he has 1 minute left? No! Don't do it. All right, and then I'm just kind of bringing that loop over until it's centered. Wow, the pressure is on here. Beading is a sport. All right, number 2. I'm actually almost done. That's crazy. I'm gonna be only a little bit over time making these 3. Okay, and number 3. Oh, bend it over. Wow, we got better and better at the loops as we went too. Ah! Do you guys hear that stopping? That would be Shara trying to tell me to stop. Haha, she's not here. We keep going. Oh, come on, there we go. Stretch, 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 stretch. Oh, uh-oh, is she coming down? Uh-oh. Did not stretch that very well. Maybe take your time a little bit more than I have. Is this what it feels like to be one of those like reality shows where like they have to decorate cakes like really, really quickly? All right, let's grab a kambaba. And another kambaba. Anytime you touch a kambaba, you have to say it out loud like that. One more kambaba. We can always keep stretching these even after I've strung it. Ooh, this is fun. All right, I might put, does it want a tiger eye as a cap or another kambaba? I actually only have, no, oh, here's not good. I have a little bit more kambaba left from my strand. Apparently I'm out of time. All right. We have much spiral. That is very fun. Oh wait, we still have the, just kind of a sense of how it might look. Oh no, I capped off that one. We have to do one more spiral because I need to show you one thing I do have to do differently if I want to make it more of a bead cap type one. So I'm extending my time. I'm gonna cut one more wire. And we're gonna try to make a cone bead cap to finish this off. This is fun. All right. It's so nice to take some time out of the day and actually get to do some beading. Sometimes things get so busy, lots of things to do. It is so nice to just sit down and make some beautiful jewelry. Partially, we will find out if this size cone is actually big enough for the kambaba. Otherwise, it might be actually big enough for the tiger eye. Yeah, if you end up making anything from today's class or from any of our Merry Makers classes, or you're making with the December box, definitely head on to our Gem Chat Facebook group and share what you're making. Don't forget to like this video. It really helps us out. All right, we're going to do a little bit differently this time. We need to keep the end open if you want to use it as a bead cap. So we actually just get to trim off. There we go. And we can see how it looks. My hunch is that it might be a little bit small for the kambaba. It's kind of funny. It has like a hat. You can also see what it looks like with a tiger eye. I feel like that's the way to go for this necklace. It keeps that theme going of all the coiling we're doing. Might as well do a coil at either end. That's fun. There's lots of ways you could do that. You don't. One way, I think, another way to, if you want to do some variation here, is you could do some as coils, and then some of these could be strands of beads coming downwards. You kind of mix it up a little bit more. But overall, I love kind of playing around, just kind of seeing what we end up with. And if you want to keep it simple, you could try out the earrings we did, or even take something like that cone and turn those into an earring. I could go either way. I'm gonna fun this way. And it could go just like that. So lots of possibilities using the Conetastic. I hope you have some ideas. I hope you just play around with the Helix cuts. They are a whole lot of fun. So we have them linked below this video. Definitely check them out. Join those waitlists if you do see them sold out. But for most of them, we usually have sets more so available at this point. But can't hurt to join the waitlist for the strands if you're interested in those. So many beautiful Helix cuts to pick from. That was such a blast. Let's see. Dale's mentioning rapid fire. We do have a rapid fire. If you join Jesse tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, Jesse's going to be showing like 150 low stock items from the shop. That should be a lot of fun. So that'll be on the Sam's Beach Shop app. We also do live sales every Tuesday and Thursday on the Sam's Beach Shop app. So definitely make sure you have it downloaded. So many beautiful gems, check glass, metals, and more. Brand new 2 or 3 times a week. It's super fun. If you want to check everything in the meantime, go to samsbeadshop.com and shop everything we have. We have so many beautiful gemmies and so much more to check out. So go to samsbeadshop.com, and thank you so much for your support of our small business. Thank you for coming to class today. It was such a joy, and we will see you soon. Bye, bead friends.